Roughly 52% of all content produced in 2025 was generated by or with the help of AI. Articles we read, videos we watch, and possibly even films and TV series are now AI generated or assisted. And that's bad. Really bad. You might be tempted to think that, hey, who cares about all that slop anyway? Well, I do. And you should too. Because the influence all that we consume has on how we think and how we perceive the world is truly immeasurable. And if we let chatbots create for us, we'll soon lose our unique ability to think, create, and to be. We won't be able to recognize what is real and what is not. And everything is already becoming a mishmash of distorted chatbots, half-truths, and repetitive, flat, soulless writing. We're truly entering a post-thinking era, an era in which we're giving up our very ability to think. And we're doing that for what exactly?
I understand your frustration, and I appreciate you taking the time to point that out.
Anyone who's ever had the misfortune of using AI chatbots knows that they're natural killers of creativity. Be it content creation, research data, or fact-checking, they provide us with an illusion of quick resolution to most of our intellectual conundrums. We spend more and more time talking to our virtual friends and assistants, asking for their opinions, using them for work and for creating. YouTube videos, short-form content, written content, even articles, books, and academic papers. We then repump all these hallucinated half-truths as training data back into the AI models, creating what I call a slop loop, completely desecrating thousands of years of human knowledge. In a sense, we're entering the post-thinking era, where content, art, research we consume is made and fact-checked by a glorified calculator. We are currently living through one of the biggest scams in human history. Before the chatbot era, we didn't have personal assistants capable of providing us with seemingly ready-made answers to any of our questions. We had to do our own diligence by educating ourselves and ultimately developing our original take on any given subject. That very process pushed us to learn, question, and evolve in every field of art and science. Take writing as an example. Writing is a complex process that involves gathering and processing of information, synthesizing ideas, and articulating thoughts with clarity and purpose. Just like your muscles, whenever you write, you're training your brain, strengthening neural pathways that enhance critical thinking, memory, and creativity. Each act of writing, whether crafting a story, analyzing data, or composing a simple note, sharpens your ability to connect concepts, solve problems, and express nuanced perspectives. AI offers us a very tempting alternative. Pose your query, and I shall give you the solution. For the first time in history, we have a tool that offers to relieve us of thinking itself. And the problem with that is that AI is not that good at thinking.
I understand your frustration, and I appreciate you taking the time to point that out. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. You're completely correct, and I'm sorry. I understand your frustration. I'm sorry you for bringing this to my attention. I apologize for any clarification, information, and regret the oversight for you. That's on me. Thanks for catching it.
AI is also not trained to tell you the truth. It's trained to please you, even at the cost of truth. Have you ever noticed that whenever you are fluent in a given subject, you tend to notice that your AI companion seems to be, well, full of shit? And even worse, people responsible for its behavior have started to tweak it so that it sounds more human, which is insufferable. But even if we know it, AI is too easy and too tempting not to use. Everyone who's ever used language models like ChatGPT or Claude knows that it's really easy to get used to using AI for writing, fact-checking, or even learning new information. Even if it hallucinates or just straight up gaslights you, it's still too attractive a tool not to use. Even as I write this, I am constantly tempted to just write a bunch of notes and ask ChatGPT to write the script for this video for me. And some would say, why not? It's still your idea. You would simply be asking your assistant to do the boring part for you. And the issue is that we humans really like leisure. In fact, we only default to actually thinking if we really have to. Whether we like it or not, our brains will always seek the easiest paths. And the thing about AI is that it's programmed to act completely confident while gaslighting me and serving me its half-truths. Well, because the general user will be amazed by its performance. After all, he or she doesn't know any better. And so more users will be amazed by how funny and person-like Grok is, without realizing that it was programmed specifically to pander to the kind of people who like when their chatbot talks like an edgy teenager. And companies will obviously continue to do this sort of thing as a trick to make the user appeased and the shareholder happy. Because for companies who are legally obliged to their shareholders to make profit, truth is not of primary importance. Capital gain is. Across academic evaluations and real-world testing, hallucination, meaning when your chatbot makes things up and lies, frequently exceed 15 to 20% and can approach or exceed 50 to 90% in specific benchmarks. And why is that an issue? Well, it's an issue because a lot of people take its answers for granted. A lot of people do not dig much deeper. They take whatever gibberish their favorite assistant serves them and put it in their article, their TikTok, YouTube video, book, or research paper. Many people also simply do not care about quality. They are incentivized to spam AI slop in order to make money after all. And it's not just regular users. Chatbot hallucinations are already regularly found in academic papers. Some may say that it's not on companies to control what people do with their tool. But this would be the same argument that the authors of the most addictive algorithms in history, like Facebook or TikTok, use. They blame the user for being addicted while spending billions of dollars researching new ways to hack our brains and keep the user glued to the screen so that they can rake more advertisement money. Meanwhile, they all know how people are going to use their incomplete scam of a tool as they continue pushing out new versions that continue to present us with low-quality data that we then continue to pump out to the internet, books, research papers, and so on. Then that low-quality data people have pumped out through the AI models into the world can be used to retrain the model again and again and again, creating even lower quality loops. AI systems like Grok or ChatGPT are large language models, LLMs for short. They're basically computer programs trained on massive piles of text, from websites and social media to stolen data and pirated content such as books, movie scripts, research papers, etc. The crux is that these models are not capable of thinking, of creativity or nuance. They're simple, probability-based prediction models that try to guess words by ascribing them mathematical values. In a nutshell, an LLM is like a librarian on a spectrum who's read every book, every article, and every website in the world. She doesn't really understand the stories or ideas, but she's great at spotting patterns in words. When you start a sequence like "ice cream is," she quickly flips through her giant memory of all the times she's seen the word ice cream written down. She notices it often appears next to words like delicious, cold, or yummy in sentences like ice cream is delicious or I love cold ice cream. Based on those patterns, she guesses the next word is probably delicious because it shows up the most. She keeps guessing one word at a time to finish your sentence. While doing so, she's not actually thinking or being creative. She's just matching words and letters based on mathematical equation of probability. Humans tweak this process, ranking the answers that the chatbot gives to sound more accurate and more appealing in what is called reinforcement learning from human feedback. These rankings train a reward model to score responses based on human preferences. An algorithm then tweaks the model's parameters to favor responses that were highest scored by humans. Still, the model doesn't think or create. It predicts words using mathematical patterns and human preference. And not to pick on any political ideology, but the people responsible for scoring chatbot responses are just people. And people, as we know, are never impartial. Studies show that AI models consistently exhibit left-leaning political bias. That is no surprise, considering that 84% of big tech work donations go to Democrats. And this includes regular employees, not just executives. That is not to say, of course, that it would be better if the chatbots were leaning conservative. The danger here is that such extreme leaning to either side is detrimental to truth. And this is quite dangerous when we consider that a great majority of the people using these models are not capable of fully discerning truth from ideological manipulation. These chatbots can easily be used as the perfect machines of mass indoctrination. The more we relegate thinking to these models, the more ideologically skewed we become, without always realizing it. This is a clear warning sign of what potential this technology has on overwriting truth with ideology and turning the user into a subject of indoctrination. Honestly, when you think about it, how exactly do we benefit from this technology anyway? Do we need all of this AI slop content to entertain us? Do we need more fishy YouTubers copy-pasting AI-generated content until every channel is the exact same slop? Not only are we losing human originality and creativity, we're also losing any sense of reality. Sooner rather than later, all of our TV shows and even movies will be completely or at least partially written and edited by AI. Meanwhile, it is estimated that in 2025, the total water consumption used for cooling the data centers reached approximately 2.6 trillion liters. To put it into a clearer perspective, this volume is roughly equivalent to the annual water consumption of the entire population of New York City and London combined, or the total amount of bottled water consumed globally in a year. Let that sink in. The only people who benefit are the psychopathic technocrats who are happy to scam the entire world into thinking that chatbots are this revolutionary super technology. This is the greatest scam in the history of mankind, and everyday folk like you and me are the ones who are already paying the price. But trust me, this price is nothing compared to what is coming. Because as things stand, we are well on our way to giving their psychopathic technocrats almost unlimited power. A very straightforward backdoor, not only to hijack the way we live, but the very way we think. I'm not suggesting that that's their goal, but that's certainly what these programs are currently doing to us. And yeah, I do not trust Sam Altman, Peter Thiel, Elon Musk or any other stinky nerd to make decisions for all humanity. Human brains are extremely plastic, and so we can adapt to new circumstances in a flash. Once we're no longer able to formulate cohesive thoughts without the help of our AI agents, we will have become an extension of the program itself. If we do it long enough, there will no longer be me or you. In fact, we will no longer be human. We will cease to be spiritual, creative beings. All of our uniqueness will simply merge into one big, pile of stinking AI slop. Do you want this to be a future?
That's on me. Thanks for catching it.